What's going on, guys? Welcome to UBL. This is going to be the week 4 game. We are going up against Razor Claw. I played him once before and it actually didn't get uploaded to the channel because it was right before I was taking my break. So he's beat me before. I know he's a phenomenal battler. I know that he is a phenomenal prepper, and I know that I play very poorly versus his style of playing. I know that he plays very offensively. He usually doesn't bring switch-ins that often. He usually only drafts like one bulky Pokemon, which, as you can see on this team, he drafted 2 in Runerigus and Licky Licky. Everything else is like bulky offense to just straight up power. Like Comfey kind of, and I do really expect Comfey this game, but either way, I really struggle against playing that kind of play style because 9 times out of 10, I play to try to like gauge everything, then I know how I can work around it. But if it's just straight up offense and it kills something before I can gauge like how I want to play around it, it's very, very difficult for me to play. I usually do very, very poorly versus that style of draft. But going against Razor Claw this week, and so I'm going to talk about this now, so in the next team build I don't have to touch on it too much. I really hate this team. Also, I'm wearing my robe because I just woke up. It's very, very cold. It is approximately 7 degrees outside right now, and this afternoon I'm closing on a house, so I'm getting my own house. I'm going to be a homeowner, so I'm going to be going through a move. I'm going to be going through a whole bunch of stuff soon, so just be nice to me if moving does conflict with anything, but yeah, so it's very cold. I just wanted to be comfy while I did this team builder. The the battle itself is not going to have face cam, but yeah. So how do I put this nicely? I hate this team. This team has a lot of things that I love, but it has a lot of things that I hate. One of the main things it has that it does not have, I guess you should say, that I hate, it doesn't have Wish Pass. And Wish Pass is something that I recently have been like needing. If I don't have Wish Pass, I feel as though I'm just suffering. Shh. Rude. So it doesn't have Wish Pass, which I really dislike. It doesn't really have the best switch-ins to things, since a lot of my bulk doesn't have reliable recovery, which means that since it doesn't have reliable recovery, it dies super, super quickly, and I don't like that. Whereas like in all of my other drafts that I'm doing pretty well in, like I'm doing a showdown league right now where I have Sylveon. I'm doing really well because I have Wish Pass. In another league, I have Slurpuff. I'm doing really well. I have Wish Pass. In APA, I have Sylveon. I'm doing really well. I have Wish Pass. Like, well, I guess I didn't do too well last week, but I need Wish Pass on this team. So starting next week, I am dropping, let me pull up the exact transaction because I don't really remember what I dropped. I just remembered the big one that I picked up. Okay. So I am dropping Stakataka, Xatu, and Garbodor for Jirachi, Whirlipede, and Persian. Now Jirachi gives me a couple of, well, one, Stakataka can go kick rocks after the genning mishap, but Jirachi gives me a Psychic type still with me dropping Xatu, but it also gives me a Steel type with Wish Pass, with Rocks, with U-Turn, good coverage, setup threat, things like that. Yeah, so it's more so just I needed that Wish Pass. So that's the transaction. And then Persian gives me a 115 base speed, which is faster than Blacephalon, which is kind of cool, I guess. But I wanted to cover that now so I didn't have to talk about it later. So looking at this team that we're going to be bringing for Razor Claw, I'm really expecting Zera, Lottie. Scolipede is gonna win. I knew that going into team building. It is the biggest threat to my entire team. Absolutely hate playing this thing right now because if you just like go down the list, like Poison Jab, Mega Horn, and then it could go EQ, it could go Super Power, it could go Protect, it could go a handful of things. And once it gets off a little bit of chip damage or it takes care of my Stakataka, I just lose. And because Stakataka is pretty much my only switch in to Lottie as well, I'm in even more trouble. So I really do struggle with Scolipede. If I was able to use like my Tapu Fini for Scolipede, that would be one thing, but I need to keep Tapu Fini healthy for things like Golisopod, for things like Sharpedo, because Sharpedo also can sweep me, especially if I let my Rillaboom take a lot of chip damage, which is possible. I don't know, there's just a lot on his team that I need to keep my walls healthy, and my walls don't have reliable recovery to keep them healthy, so it's very, very difficult. But let's just go ahead and take a look at the team. So I have the Double Monkey Core starting out, Choice Scarf Darmanitan, enough speed for... If I'm being honest with you, I think it is Sharpedo. If I'm being honest. Can't really remember. Might just be enough speed outspeed his fastest on Scarfer, which I think is Zera. I know it's Zera. I don't know why I'm saying I think. I know it's Zera, which I think is what that speed is for. Super standard. Yeah. Then we have Pad's Rillaboom, because I'm really, really expecting him to bring Moltres as his Rillaboom check, because it doesn't get a rock type move, which means I can't really do a whole lot to it, and he can bring it in every single time that I'm going for Glide, that I'm going for Knock, that I'm going for anything, and try to fish for the burn, and then he can just wall me indefinitely. And whenever it comes to Moltres, I don't really have the best checks to it. Like, I have a Tapu Fini, which Tapu Fini needs to be healthy for Lottie and for Sharpedo and for Cobalion, so if it gets weakened by that, I could be screwed. So yeah, but this is really the main pivoting core that I wanted this week. And then I wanted to have my Hitmonlee. So I'm going Misty Seed this week because I'm really expecting him to see that Hitmonlee has a phenomenal matchup versus him. It really, really has a good matchup. Like, just going down the list, it's like CC, Knockoff, Rock Slide, CC, Rock Slide, Knockoff, Poison Jab for Comfey, but Priority Draining Kiss is a thing, and with 110 Spadef, like, I can tank one, but if I have the +1 Spadef, I'm really not dying to a Draining Kiss, which is really good. And then same thing for Sharpedo, Rock Slide for the Golisopod, CC, and then CC again. So very, very good matchup offensively, but I think Comfey is one of his only ways to deal with it, because if he doesn't have Comfey and I get the defense boost, like, it could be completely over for him. So I really do like Hitmonlee here. I think it could be a good win con. I need to get it in before he gets into Scolipede, and then I should be okay. That's like the big thing. Next up, we have Tapu Fini. What a set, right? So Surf, Haze, Draining Kiss, and Scald. Surf is there because it does a little bit more damage to things like the Stunfisk, as well as doing a little bit more damage to things like the Scolipede, while not having to worry about not burning it. Pretty much just because if I burn it, like, I would have to not run Misty Surge, but he has a lot of things that could run, like Poison Jab, Will-O-Wisp, Discharge, things like that, Toxic. So I didn't really want to have this thing get chipped down by things like Toxic and things like that for a grassy terrain to be the terrain of choice. So plus I went Misty Surge for Misty Seed Sweep. So yeah. Then we have Stack Attacka, Max Fizz Def. This is going to be my blanket everything check. It's going to be my Scolipede check for Superpower. It's going to be my Lottie check for Aura Sphere. It's going to be just a really good way to pretty much hurt everything. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't like Stacka on this team. If I had like a Wishing Fairy, I'd be okay with it, because I could wish to stack, but because I don't have a Wishing Fairy, I need a different wisher, and I don't know. I really like Tapu Fini, but not having reliable recovery really hurts it. The EVs on this, Draining Kiss guaranteed kills. I wanted Draining Kiss to guaranteed kill Sharpedo after rocks and hit a Life Orb. I wanted to be able to take 2. I can't remember what the defensive estimate was for. And then the speed was for completely uninvested Moltres, I think. Something like that. I know that the EVs had a good reason. I don't just slap EVs into stats. And then finally we have Mixed Defensive Lantern. This is just going to be my Zero Aura check. I have enough special attack investment to be able to make sure that Surf always breaks the sub of max HP Zero Aura. The only way that it doesn't break it is if he's like max HP, max Spadef. Like, even max HP Careful Nature is broken with Surf. So very, very good. Just good coverage in general, and then Heal Bell to be able to heal off those Will-O-Wisps, those Toxics, those things like that that I mentioned that are super prevalent on my opponent's team. So that is going to be the team that we're bringing versus Razor Claw. I'm really excited for this one, but I'm also really excited to start using Jirachi next week. So yeah, let's hop over to the battle, and I hope you guys enjoy. Alrighty guys, here we are with the battle. We're going up against Razor Claw. Again, nervous as always. I feel like I've played 700 Draft League games today, but you know, it is what it is. Again, no face thing because I've done the thing. Man, my English is phenomenal today. No face cam because I've been doing a lot of videos for Legends Arceus and doing a lot of Draft League battles today. I'm tired. Yeah. Man, this intro is off to a great start for the battle. We traded our 6 before we got started, which is great. So here's my issue. I think I'm gonna lead off with my Rillaboom. He didn't bring the Moltres, which is kind of shocking to me if I'm being honest with you. He also didn't bring the Comfey, which means that my Hitmonlee is kind of gonna be going in. I just need to get the Runerigus chipped a little bit, and then my Hitmonlee can do a lot of damage. It's unfortunate that I'm getting the Spadef boost instead of the defense boost, because if I got the defense boost this game, it would be phenomenal. But, you know. Homie had a Comfey. I expected the Comfey. My Finny's going to be very pressured. I'm mostly worried about Scolipede, if I'm being honest with you. Everything else I feel as though I can deal with decently. Like, not perfectly, but I feel as though I can deal with it decently well. Okay, looks like we got the right stadium this time, at least. So we did get a good lead, which is good. And by a good lead, I mean, like, he didn't lead off with Scolipede. If he led off with Scolipede, it was going to be, like, worst case scenario. Just going to go right into my Finny. Also, after this week, I'm making transactions to the team because I hate not having wish support. I feel as though wish support is like top priority on a draft, so not having it has been miserable for me. So I'm making transactions starting next week for it. Just figured I'd let you guys know in advance. Goes right for Poison Jab. How much does this do to me? Doesn't two-shot, which is good. So I think what I'm going to do here is I think I'm going to go into my Lantern from Golisopod. How much is Poison Jab doing? %. I have a feeling he's going to stay in here because my Tapu Fini can't really do a whole lot to it. But Poison Jab isn't going to do a whole lot to me. Took me down to 156. Did 25% exactly. Yeah, he's just max attack adamant. I'm going to go for Volt Switch. There's a good chance I won't pop it to emergency exit. Like a very, very good chance. If he goes into the Zera, I do have enough special attack investment to be able to always guaranteed break a sub on that thing. I really expected him to either go for a first impression or try to set up a SPAC. Because my Rillaboom with Wood Hammer would have popped it out. Okay, Okay, so it's very, 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 very fat. I think I'm gonna go into my Rillaboom here. Because with my Rillaboom, I can take a Liquidation. Leech Life might be the worst case scenario. Goes for P-Jab. Doesn't two-shot. Doesn't get the poison either, which is Pog. And then here I'm gonna go for Glide. Because it'll pop the emergency exit, which is really good. This thing has really broken my team down a lot, though, which is much less than ideal. I guess I could have gone into my stack and gone for like a Rock Slide. Looks like he is super bulky Golisopod, though. Goes into Cobalion. These lefties. I think I'm just gonna go for a superpower into Glide. Uninvested superpower is doing 61 to 73. And then Glide after that's doing 17 to 21. I'll be at -1 though. At least I'll have this thing super chipped. Close combat, I take this pretty well. He's actually at -1 now, which is really good. Dropped. Nice. Okay. I don't know what he thought I was. Could have thought I was Bandit or something. They go into Scolipede here. I'm going to go hard into my Young Stack, Young Tack. They go into Lottie. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to do the same thing. I think I'm going to go into Young Stack, Young... Actually, if he's... Is Reflect type in the game? I'm going to do this first while I look this up. It is in the game. He's life orbed. Okay. He's life orbed. Here I'm going to go into Young Stack, Young Tack. I don't think they're going to go for Aura Sphere here. Energy Ball. Take that really well. First I thought I got the he got the Spadef drop with Energy Ball. Jar Ball does 75 to 89, brother. Give me one. I guess you could go into your... Yep. Cool. We livin'. That lived? I need to be really careful with this thing gone now because of the Scolipede. How do I want to do this to ensure that Scolipede isn't a huge threat? I'm going to go into this. So I'm going into this for a couple of different reasons. One, if they go into Scolipede and they click Poison Jab and they kill me, I can drop in my Hitmonlee and it'll be a speed tie. My Hitmonlee, I won't be able to take anything from the Scolipede. They went into this instead, which is really good. I'm going to click Draining Kiss. It's not going to pop the emergency exit, but it'll give me a little bit of recovery back. It did pop emergency exit, never mind. They go into Scolipede. I'm gonna spam Haze. I'm gonna spam Haze. Yep. If he's non-life orb, he actually doesn't kill me with a poison jab. 60, how much does? I need to spam Haze. Okay. For Hitmonlee, it's a roll. Hitmonlee, it's a roll. And if that doesn't work, then I have to go with Darm, and Darm is a roll on Megahorn. Man, I really wish I was Grassy Seed. Then, for me, just gonna go for the Rock Slide. Poison Jab. He got the roll. Yeah. Unless he was adamant, I guess. He was adamant it wasn't a roll, but what can you do? This was kind of my biggest worry going into this game. I didn't really have anything for Scolipede to start off with. Like, just it... I didn't have anything. I think I'm just gonna go for Crash. Yeah. Yeah, Megahorn, he hits. Yeah. Super unfortunate, but you know, I knew going into this game that this is how the Scolipede game would be. I knew it, like, from the very start. It was something that I was just super struggling with. And him being Life Orb just kind of sort of sealed the deal. And it was super unfortunate that, like, pretty much my only check to this thing would have been Stack Attacka. Like, and even then, if it got up in SD, like, I couldn't do anything for it then. Yeah. Super unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. GG's to him. We're going to drop to, I think, 1-3 in this league. And I'm just realizing I really don't like Rillaboom all that much, if I'm being honest with you. Because I feel like you want to run it Banded every single time, but then 9 times out of 10, like, they prep so hard for Banded that it's just difficult. So, who knows? Had to go with what the rolls were. So, just so everybody's clear, if he's Jolly, the roll was heavily in his favor for Megahorn. For Hitmonlee, if he was Jolly, the roll was exactly 50-50, I think. 62% in his favor, so... I guess I could have maybe clicked Surf the first time and let him weaken himself with Life Orb damage. But he's Stomping Tantrum too, so... yeah. GG's to him, man. Not much I could do. But, what, you know, it is what it is. With that, we move to 1-3, and yeah, hopefully next week getting rid of some of the things that I dislike about the team and picking up some stuff like wish support that I do like about the team will really help out. But with that, I'm going to go and get on out of here. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.